Welcome to Industrial Fluid Power Sessions. So this session we are going to see about the components of hydraulic systems. Under this components of hydraulic system, we are going to see the various types of hydraulic pumps. So in this hydraulic systems, this hydraulic pumps is the most important thing, most important component also. So these are the 5 types of pumps we are going to see in this session. One is a vane pump, gear pump, G rotor pump, screw pump, and piston pump. This is the symbol used for pump. This is the fixed displacement, one rotation. And this symbol is used for fixed displacement birotational. So two-side rotational it can happen. And this is unidirectional variable displacement pump. This arrow represents you can vary the displacement. You can vary the flow, displacement or discharge. And here this symbol denotes bidirectional variable displacement pump. The difference between the simple difference between hydraulic and pneumatic pumps is in hydraulic this triangle will be filled with a dark color, dark shade, but in hydraulic but in pneumatic motors it will be blank, it will be simply blank in plain. Let's see what are the rotary pumps. Rotary pumps are positive displacement pumps. The rate of flow, it means the rate of discharge of rotary pump remains constant irrespective of the pressure. Okay, that is, even at very high pressure, these pumps can give the same amount of discharge. They can develop very high pressure up to 1000 bar or even more. The discharge or pressure of rotary pumps is smooth but not pulsating. So very less vibration and noise is observed with these pumps. Hence, these pumps are well suited for oil hydraulic machineries such as earth moving machines, metal cutting machines, and many automatically controlled machines. So, these rotary pumps having a very good applications in the industrial field. So, what are the types of rotary pumps? Basically, there are 3 types of rotary pumps. They are gear pumps, vane pumps, and piston pumps. And further, they are again classified into 3 groups, in 3 subgroups, which is as given below. Classification of rotary pumps. These rotary pumps are classified into vane pumps, gear pumps, and piston pumps. Under vane pumps, you are having a two sub-classification: unbalanced vane pump and balanced vane pump. Under this gear pumps, you are having external gear pump, internal gear pump, lobe pump, G rotor pump, and screw pump. So piston pumps: axial piston pump, straight axis piston pump, bent axis piston pump, radial piston pumps, stationary cylinder type, and rotating cylinder type. So this is the schematic representation of the unbalanced type vane pump. Okay, this is the cylinder block, and this is the inside this circle is the rotor block, and this red symbol denotes the vane slot, and this black color denotes the vane, and this is the inlet flow passage, this is the exit flow passage. This is how actually it look likes. Let us see this unbalanced type vane pump. It consists of a cylindrical rotor which is mounted with an offset inside a circular casing. So this is a cylindrical motor is having a offset cylindrical casing. The vanes are seated in the radial slots. So these are the vanes. These are the vanes. These are seating on the radial slots. So these are the radial slots of the rotor and held against the casing by spring or hydraulic force. So this is this black color mentioned the springs. Okay, so which are held, these vanes are held against the casing with the help of spring or hydraulic force. Hence, there will not be any leakage of oil between the vane tips and the casing. So that there will not be any oil leakage between this is the vane tip and this casing. But still, there is some leakage of oil between the rotor faces and the body sides. Hence, its volumetric efficiency will be owned by 95%. As the rotor rotates, the vanes carry the liquid from the inlet port to outlet port. As when the rotor rotates, the veins carry the liquid. So this vein carries the liquid from inlet port. This is the inlet port, and it releases to the outlet port. The difference is the difference in pressure between inlet and outlet ports create a side thrust on the rotor shaft, which consequently load bearings. So what are the advantages of unbalanced vane type pump? Handles thin liquids at relatively high pressure, compensates for wear through vane extension, sometimes preferred for solvents and LPG, can run dry for short periods. It can be able to run dry for short periods. It can develop good vacuum. And there are some disadvantages. It means complex housing and many parts. You may see that it having a very complex housing, not suitable for high pressure and not suitable for high viscosity, and not good with abrasives. So what are the applications of unbalanced type vane pump? Where we are using this unbalanced type vane pump? We can use this for pumping aerosol and propellants, aviation service, in fuel transfer and de-icing, in automobile industry, fuels, lubes, refrigeration coolants, and bulk transfer of LPG and NH3, that is ammonia, LPG cylinder filling. We can use it this vane pump. Alcohols, refrigeration, freons, ammonia, solvents, aqueous solution. These are the areas we can go for unbalanced type vane pump. Now let's see the external gear pump. So external gear pump consists of two spur or helical gears which are in mesh with each other and mounted inside the casing. So we having a two spur or helical gear which are in mesh with each other. So two spur gear which are in mesh with each other inside the and mounted inside the casing. This is the outer casing. These two spur gears are mesh with each other inside the mounting. One is driver and other is driven. So this is driver gear. Only mainly this motor is connected with this gear only, and using this gear, this driven gear is rotating. When the driver is rotated by means of any prime mover, that is electrical motor, driven will also rotate. So oil is trapped in the pockets between teeth and the casing and carried towards the outlet port, so that oil is trapped in the pockets between each teeth and casing, and it will goes to the outlet port. So gear pump can produce pressure up to 200 bars. Volumetric efficiency of gear pump is about 80%. So this is how the actual gear pump looks like. Now let's see the internal gear pump. So it has two gears. One is having external teeth and the other is having internal teeth. So this is the external gear. This is the internal gear having internal teeth, and this one is the external gear having external teeth. The external gear is inside the internal gear. So external gear is inside this internal gear. The two gears are in mesh with each other. A crescent seal is provided between these two gears, which fills the gap between the two gears. So it is mounted in such a position that you can see there is a crescent shape gap is producing. Okay, crescent shape gap is producing. So oil fills in the packets between the teeth and the crescent seal and the casing and carried along with the gear towards outlet and finally delivered at outlet port. When the oil comes in that, it fills the crescent seal passage, and it fills the gear teeth and this casing and finally delivered to outlet port. So this is how it look like. This is how this internal gear pump, actual gear pump look like. Now we are going to see about the single acting piston pump. So single acting piston pump, this is using the 4-bar mechanism. We are having a crankshaft, connecting rod, piston rod and the cylinder. So this is having the 4-bar mechanism. One is a cylinder, piston rod, connecting rod and crankshaft. Okay. So when the piston is moves front and back, so that it suck the oil and push the oil out. Now see the straight axis piston pump. Under this piston pump, there are so many types. So we are going to see about the straight axis piston pump. So in this pump, the cylinder block is fitted to the driver shaft. Okay, this is the cylinder block, which is, and this is a cylinder block which is shifted to the driven shaft. So this is the driven shaft. The shoe plate is mounted on a swash plate, which is fixed at an angle to the axis of rotation. So this is the shoe plate and this is the swash plate. So this shoe plate is mounted on the swash plate at a specific angle to the axis of rotation. The angle of swash plate can be varied to change the discharge. If you want to change the discharge, so that you can change the angle. So if you change the angle, the flow of discharge, the discharge flow also will get changed. So this is the inlet port and this is the outlet port. So when the shaft is rotated, it causes the cylinder block rotated. So when this shaft is rotated, it causes this whole cylinder to rotate. And the shoe plate will also rotate. So this shoe plate will also rotate, causing the piston in the bore to reciprocate. Okay, so that piston causing this piston. So this piston to move. When this piston come here, it move inside, and when this piston come here, it moves outside. So it moves in so that it moves forward and reverse motion like a reciprocating motion. Okay, this shoe plate is also rotating so that this two ports follows the reciprocating motion. Half rotation of a cylinder block causes suction of oil into a bore, and the next half of rotation causes discharge. First half, it causes suction, oil suction, okay, into the bore, and in the second half, it causes the discharge. There is 8 or 12 number of such bores. We are seeing 2, and in normal cases 8 to 12 number of such bores which are continuously performing suction and discharge in sequence. Hence the pump discharge is smooth and continuous. Okay, 8 or 12 bores means 4 for suction and 4 for discharge, or 6 for suction and 6 for discharge. The discharge is determined by the size of bore, number of pistons, stroke length, and speed of shaft. So these are the parameters which are going to determine the discharge. So this is the action of the image of the straight axis piston pump. And now we are going to see about the stationary cylinder type radial piston pump. So we are seeing the single acting piston pump. Now we are going to see a multi acting radial piston pump. It means piston pumps, if you take individual piston pump, it will be in a straight axis. But if you're taking a multiple piston pumps and they are connected in the radial motion, okay, so this is how it look like. So these are the connecting rods. This is the piston cylinder blocks. Such likewise, five such pistons are connected in a radial format. So this figure shows stationary cylinder type radial piston pump. It consists of stationary cylinder. So these cylinders are stationary, in which 5 cylinders are arranged coplanar with equal angle between them. So arranged coplanar means the angle between the two cylinder will be equal. So all such 5 cylinders will be in equal. So there are 5 pistons, one reciprocating inside each cylinder. But one reciprocating is there, but 5 cylinders are there, 5 pistons are there. All these such pistons are connected to the single crank by individual connecting rods. So this is a single crank, but individual connecting rods to connect all such 5 pistons. All suction ports are connected to single suction pipe. Okay, let's take this green here. Mentioned it shows green and red ports. So you can find out this green as a suction port and this red as a delivery port. So all such greens are connected to a single suction pipe and all delivery ports are connected to a single delivery pipe. So when shaft is rotated by means of any prime mover, such as any motor, if the shaft is connected with any rotor, the piston reciprocates in the cylinder and perform suction and delivery of liquid. So at the time, this all such will activate. So first this section will happen, next this section starts, this next this section start, next this section start, next this section start, same time on this discharge, first flow, second this discharge, second third this one, fourth this one, fifth this one, so that at a time all section will happen and same time all delivery discharge will also happen. So advantages of piston pump is it having high operating efficiency and high operating pressure and wide range of speed. Applications of piston pump. These pumps are compact and can work with operating efficiencies. They are therefore commonly used in all high pressure applications such as in presses. In press applications, these type of piston pumps can be used. The variable delivery and pressure compensation features render their use for economic power utilization in different type of systems, and the volumetric efficiency of the piston pump is about 90%. Let's see about let we can see the animation view of this all such hydraulic pumps. First we see about this external gear pump. Okay, there are two gears. One is the driver gear, and this is driver gear is connected with the shaft with, and it is connected with the motor, and this is the driven gear. When driver gear is rotating, it also starts rotating the rotating the driven gear. So this will be the inlet port. When the fluid flows inside, this fluid is connected with these packets, the gear tooth are packets, and with the casing, and it is moves towards and go to the outlet port. And in the same manner, when it rotates fast, the pressure also will get increased. Let's see what are the advantages. It having a high speed or a high pressure, quiet operation, variety of built material operation, and some disadvantages are bushings wear in liquid areas, fixed end clearances. Now let's see the internal gear pumps. So this is the shaft connected to that. The shaft is connected to the external gear. That is the external gear is the located in the inner part of this, and this casing having the external gear, that is the outer gear, and having a crescent shape packet is there. Package is there. When the fluid flows inside, it flows. It was collected in this area and it goes outside through the outlet part. Let's see the advantages. Smooth and pulseless flow. It having slightly more horsepower for size, and disadvantages, it is higher cost and limited size range only, low to moderate pressure rating, and few sources of manufacture. Now let's see the rotary vane pump. So these are the vanes, and center point, this is the rotor. So when the rotor rotates, automatically these vanes are also rotating. So these vanes having the springs. So when the fluid comes this way, This is the inlet valve and this is the exit valve. Let's see the advantages. It having low viscosity fluids at high pressure, dry run for short periods, develops a good vacuum, and some disadvantages: complexity, unsuitability for high pressure, does not run high viscosity fluids. Now let's see the swash plate piston pump. This is the shaft connected to the cylinder block, and this cylinder blocks having some pistons, and this is the swash plate. Okay, so when the piston rotates, it makes the body to rotates. When the shaft rotates, it makes this piston to rotate. Okay, and each bore, these are the bores connected. So these bores are connected with the springs. When it comes this side, the springs get expanded so that discharge will happen. When this comes this side, the springs get compressed so that suction will happen. So that same spring expansion and spring compression is there. When spring is expanded, uh, suction is happening. When spring is compressed, discharge is happening. Half the stroke suction happen and half the stroke discharge is happen. Now let's see the radial pump, radial piston pump. So these are the pistons, all at the same time it rotates. This is a rotor. At the same time, from all the pistons, consequently this compression, that is forward and reverse motion, will happen so that the suction and discharge will happen continuously without any pulsating, so the operation will be smooth. Now let's see the hand pump. So this is the reservoir, this is the inlet valve, this is the outlet valve, this is the piston, and this is the hand lever. When the hand lever is operated, it pushes the liquid this way. When the hand lever is released, it sucks the oil, sucks the fluid. When the hand lever is released, it sucks the oil. When it is pushed, it compresses and make the fluid to discharge. Thank you, students. Thank you for watching this. We'll see the G rotor pump and the screw pump in the next part 2.